welcome back everybody, and today we're back in ScrapMechanic. Now, unlike usual, I'm not going to be building any interesting or weird gizmos and gadgets. I sometimes do that. I have 2 other videos on that. I'm going to link them down in the description below. Whilst you're down there, you can consider subscribing and liking. It is completely free, and it helps out a ton. Now, here today we're going to be looking at a bunch of creations that I have built recently. Now this being one of the most recent, and at the end I'm going to show you one creation that I have in progress, and make sure to comment down below what you think I could, build on it. Now, I think at least this I have uploaded to the workshop, so if you do want to check it out, it is on the workshop. Let me just have a quick little look what this thing is. Under this thing is Wedge Off-Road Supercar Racer. Okay, so this thing has, I just updated it just in case, because I think I changed the name. It used to be Trophy Truck, but now it's a Wedge Supercar Racer. So, if you don't know anything about BeamNG, there is this supercar called the Chevette Scintilla. That's the imaginary bland? Excuse me, the imaginary bland? That's the imaginary brand. Now, that's kind of what it's based on, because this thing is kind of supercar converted to trophy truck. Now you are going to need some mods for this thing. I used a lot of mods to build this thing, so I have all of my mods on. I don't know what this mod is, but it gives you a bunch of weird wedges and stuff, some weird wacky wedges. Also have some mods for some lights. Now this thing, if you do actually have ScrapMechanic and you find this thing on the workshop, how do you get it? Is through the wheel wells. Now the engine is set fairly slow. As you can see, this thing does not drive that fast, and as you can tell right there, it is a perfect example. It is really tippy. Now, I'm going to show you one of my trophy trucks in a second now. So this thing is really wide, really low down to the ground. The base is built out of concrete. It is really bricky. Now, I'd love to show you the rear suspension. It's kind of the closest, or you can get probably closer, but this is like the simplest, let's just say, implementation of like 3-link live axle. Now, this is of course only 2-link, because how this works is we just have suspension. There are some unnecessary bearings right there. And the reason why I put the suspension on the back here is so it looks cool. Of course. So I have this modded suspension. It has bypass shocks on it, as you can see. So it looks like it has bypass shocks on it, which is really cool. And then, of course, I have some big, chunky modded wheels. But then down here I have a simulated diff. Now the reason why this is different from 3-link live axle is 3-link live axle, I try to show it with my arms, but of course I don't have a face cam. But basically how this works is, you know what, we're in ScrapMechanic. I can build you an example. So a 3-link live axle would basically be, you have this, and so it's called this the diff. That's your diff right there. That's your diff. That's your diff. And so this little, the
concrete part is the diff, okay? I forgot to, oh no, I did put a bearing. So then this will be able to, probably, whatever. So this thing, theoretically now, as you can tell, there's a bearing right there, as you can see, right there. So this thing will be now able to swivel. So, this is really complicated to explain without being able to use, like, my arms and stuff. So if we just set this, like, up a little bit, and then we set it back down so it doesn't fly away. As you can see, that can swivel. Of course, it's not going to be swiveling like that. So then, how 3-link live axle works is then from that middle, at least I think this is how it works. Correct me in the comments if I'm absolutely stupid, but I think this is how it works. So then, as you can see, the axles go out, and then let's call these plastic blocks the wheels, and then somewhere's about, like, behind, oh, you know what, the wheels will be these concrete blocks on the end again.
I don't have all the things. And then where these bearings are, suspension would be attached. And so then it would mean that all of the preload, there would have to be some preload in a way added, so the suspension is a little bit pre-compressed, so that it can actually go down on the other side. I think at least that is how it works. I'm not an expert on suspension. I really don't know, but I think that's how it works. But you of course can't do that in ScrapMechanic. It's going to cause some weird suspension glitches, and it's just not going to be a good time. You can probably actually do it, but I can probably just delete this. But what I have done, basically, this suspension can't, articulate. So one wheel can't, so 3-link live axle works in the way that if one wheel goes up, the other one has to go down. Whereas here, it really just works as non-independent suspension. That's a controller suspension. This thing is just a really simple car. It just kind of looks kind of cool. So as you can see, clanking. I'm going to talk about the front suspension in a second. I do apologize if this is a little bit boring. But real quick, this thing has low beams and then high beams, as you can see with the light bars, So yeah, you got a spare tire and a gas can. I do apologize. What was that? What did I just say? Apologizes? I do apologize about the spare tire not being centered, but I hope the gas cans on the one side can kind of, counter that, but yeah. But basically, that's the rear suspension. It can only go up and down. If I set these to 0, as you can see, if I just set 1, it's going to droop the mildest. But if I set both, they're both going to go down. I can't only do it with 1. So, I'm going to go ahead and now delete this thing. Because, yes, I was going to say for a second, no, I forgot to show you the front suspension, but no, I fiddled with the rear suspension. So, now, you know what, this is probably going to be easiest to show you on a lift here. So, I'm going to delete this wheel right here. So, this thing has double wishbone in the front. As you can see, the ScrapMechanic conception of double wishbone right here. If you want me to do a tutorial on it, I will do a tutorial on it very happily. But I basically just slammed this double wishbone. And instead of putting like really compressed, or not compressed, really small springs on it, what I did is, instead of double wishbone, you'd usually end it here, okay? You'd usually end it, instead of like this, you usually go down, and then a bearing in the front if you're steering with it, and then a bearing. But, yes, that would mean I don't, oh yeah, I have the wrong wheels, but yes, that would mean I don't have to have these weird, ridiculous mud guards. But I wanted this thing to be slammed, so as you can see on the other side, I have it made so that it goes up, as you can see. So, now, that's just some weird things that I was experimenting with, and this thing's whole shape is an experiment. Now, on to the next thing. I need to find this thing. I have a lot of workshop planes and fire trucks here. Yes, here. The Tofi truck. I don't know if this thing is on the workshop. I'm going to check. But this thing, I'm not a huge fan of it, but this thing drives way better than the other truck. How does this thing actually suspension work? Because this thing has got a working concept of 3-link live axle. Huh? Look at this. I need to go and fix the suspension on that car. Because something is really wrong with it. Look at this thing's got working 3-link live axle, basically. Well, it isn't like how it would be done realistically, but look at that. It's working. One is going down, the other one's going up. Is it just the... Yeah, you get launch out of this... Excuse me, I'd like to say in first person. Is it just how the springs are done? Wait a second, I need to go and investigate this. Bye-bye floor and tire. How did I... This is... Isn't this... real quick, I'm just gonna go and spawn in the other truck here. There we go. Isn't this precisely how it's done? This should work completely the same, just that the suspension is on the outside. Do I, in that case, need to move this all the way to here? Yeah, let's go and do that real quick.
I can feel the blood creeping up from the heathens. Got will, got fight, got pride, got reason. If they wanna go eat, then you know I'm gonna feed them. If you're coming for me, hope you're ready for a demon. I got eyes in the back of my head, I'm seeing. Take me for granted and you know I'm leaving. I'ma take what's mine with the webs I'm weaving. I could take this crowd from seeing to believing. Got a taste for blood and my tongue keeps bleeding. From the words I spit, so sharp, so freezing, so cold.
And there. Now, whilst I paint the rest of this, it is probably a great time to tell you that maybe if this is not quite your style of video, me nerding out on some vehicles, then I have plenty of BeamNG drive videos and plenty of other videos on plenty of other topics. Well, yeah. Emergency, BeamNG drive, I was about to say ScrapMechanic, that's what this is. I have Wreckfest, and a bunch of other cool things. So now, technically... this should be working the exact same way. Because if we just hop up here, this is the exact same thing, as you can see. It's just connected a little bit differently. Instead of being there, it is directly above it. How hard is the suspension? This is like 4 notches. But this vehicle is a lot lighter. Anyways, I did rip the back off, but that's not really going to change how this thing drives. Look at this. Yeah, look at that. It's got a working 3-link live axle kind of suspension stuff. Sure, it can go straight down, but it also does like the crawler thing, and I like that. I might put I might build another trophy truck, because that thing was supposed to be a trophy truck, but as you can tell, it's not. This thing does not look that good, but it's goofy looking, but it's fast, and it drives well. Look at this. Look at that. Boom. Takes the bump like a champ. Well, looks like it takes it absolutely horribly, but actually takes it pretty dang well. Try not to tip this thing over, but this thing is absolutely amazing. If this thing is not on the workshop, I will put it on the workshop. Sorry if you have OCD, that is not supposed to be there, but I don't want to update it. You know, I can't help but just leave it like this, because I really don't want to do it. I do have OCD myself, but yeah, sort of, yeah, not good. This should, in theory, and it works. I don't know if you can tell, but that is not level. If I just put each suspension down by, can we do 2? 2 might be a little bit too much, so we're just gonna put it down by an extra 1. You have to get in by the fenders. It's a little bit weird, but now it works. I don't know if it was just too hard before and you couldn't tell, but it works now. It looks a little bit weird. The whole back of this thing looks a little bit weird. Anyways, it's having some. Oh yes, I was like, why is this thing driving like such a slug? Holy hell! But I don't have my engine connected to the row wheels. Yeah. Anyways, let's go and hop back in this thing. Oh yeah, it's not driving like no slug no more. Yeah, I think the three-link, yeah, it's definitely going on an angle. Don't tell me it didn't. It didn't. I do like the bull bar on this thing a lot. I use a lot of modded parts for the shape here, but look at that. Yes, look at that. 3-link live axle action, baby. Okay. Anyways, these things are a bunch of fun. I need to build another trophy truck. Maybe I can, you know what? I should probably make a video on me building another trophy truck. Anyways. So, actually I'm gonna leave these here. I should probably get the good version of this thing. Oh, you know what? It really doesn't matter. But I should save this thing as, what do I call that thing? Bear with me for a moment. This thing is the Wedge Off-Road Supercar Racer. Okay, so this thing is now V2, is the one with the better suspension in the back. I think that thing had a little bit of 3-link live axle going on, but this thing's got a little bit more. Okay, so now what I have been working on is basically, I was like, it's gotta be a trophy truck. But then I was like, you know what, let's call it a supercar. It's got a low to the ground and stuff. Let's call it a converted supercar, just like the Chevette Chintilla. So I've started building this monstrosity. I call it the Big Banana as of now, because, well, it looks like a big banana. It looks like a muscle car as far as colors are concerned. Oh yeah, I forgot. You can't get into this thing. How do you get... I swear I left a way to get into this thing. Let's just make a hole. I don't think that was the driver's seat. There we go. There we go. This thing actually drives really well. Way better. I guess it's more low to the ground, but look at this thing. Look at it. It does not steer great. Basically just chuck some better tires on this thing. I did not even slam it. This thing has the exact same suspension on it. It kind of looks like a Humvee meets a supercar meets a muscle car, if you kind of get what I mean. You kind of get it? Kind of muscle car-y Humvee. It really does look kind of like a Humvee. So, of course, this thing is not finished, you know, as you can tell by the fact that it's not even all painted. But basically, I took that, because I built this first. It would probably have been actually harder. This is how they do it in real life. They take this and then they turn it into that. But I'm turning this into that, even though technically this turned into that, but I'm turning this into that, if you get what I mean. Oh yeah, by the way, this thing's first person real quick. Strict full cam, no. Wrong thing. There you go. You can kind of see a little bit, but it's got very, very tinted windows. So if we just go and hop into here, this thing's got even more tinted windows. Trust me, these are transparent, but you just can't see through them. Oh, I have follow cam on. That is, woo-hoo-hoo. That's a journey. Jeez, okay. Yeah, that was really journey. Yeah, the 3-link live axle is now working. Might be because of the central attach points. I don't know. I really don't. I don't think it really matters on the attachment points. Maybe it does. It just gives the part some kind of weird flex or something. Anyways, look at that. Yeah, beautiful. I do like I really do like the suspension on this thing. There we go. But anyways, all these builds are really, really cool. Is this one on the workshop? Let's see real quick. Truck. Yes, it is on the workshop. It is called the Tofi truck. And if this really hurts your OCD, paint this thing orange, because it should be orange, but it isn't. And I think this thing uses... does it? I think this thing still uses a similar amount of modded parts to that one. It is, yeah, that's the one thing. This one's more off-roady, but anyways, hope you enjoyed. I really enjoyed showing these off to you. Hope you enjoyed them. Make sure to comment down below if you'd like to see anything else and what you'd like to see me build next. And before I leave, real quick, I have other videos linked in the description. You can go and check those out after this. If you enjoy this, you'll most likely enjoy those too. Make sure to like and subscribe whilst you're down there, and I'll see you next time. Bye!